It turns out my boss has always had a secret crush on me. My friend just won the lottery and said she'd take care of me. I showed off to my friends, saying someone would take care of me for the rest of my life. My boss, Shen, texted me in the middle of the night. Aurora, are you quitting? How much is he paying you? Whatever he's offering, I'll double it. Don't quit. How is he taking care of you? Tell me. Maybe I can do it too. Don't quit. I was suspicious. Didn't my boss already have a fiancé? What does he want? Does he want me to be his mistress? I replied directly, music, boss. If I'm a mistress, I won't go to work. If I go to work, I won't be a mistress. A person can't do two things at once. Before I went to sleep, my best friend Jessica texted, "Baby, remember when I asked you to pick some numbers last time? I won the lottery. Music." She sent a screenshot of her winning 500 million and the last numbers were the ones I picked. "Baby, music, some of this prize is yours. Darling, I'll take care of you from now on. Tomorrow I'll take you shopping." From her words, I could feel the joy radiating. "Thank you, music, baby. I'll depend on you from now on. Kisses." I screenshot our last conversation and posted it to my friends. Someone's taking care of me now. I love this easy life of being provided for without having to work hard. I texted my boss, "Boss, I want to take tomorrow off." Then I locked my screen and went back to sleep. In my dream, my best friend and I were strolling together, wearing sunglasses, the wind music, carrying the scent of 500 million. Behind us were several shirtless men in white shirts, their six-packs showing in the breeze, carrying all our designer shopping bags. I woke up in the morning music and my phone was already buzzing. At 2:00 a.m., my boss had replied, "Aurora Tang, I just finished work and saw your message. Music, I haven't been too busy lately, so if you want to take time off, go ahead." Then, "Aurora Tang, why are you suddenly asking for time off? Are you unwell? Aurora Tang, if you're not well, please rest up. Even though I'm abroad, my personal doctor lives near your place. If you need him, I'll send him right over." Then, "Aurora Tang, what did you post to your friends? Didn't you say you didn't have a boyfriend? Music, Aurora Tang, you suddenly have a boyfriend now. Is he going to take care of you? Are you preparing music to quit? Aurora Tang, men are unreliable, they only lie. Don't give up your job easily for a man, especially someone you just met." Music then, "Aurora Tang, I've thought about it. Work has been heavy lately. I'm sorry, I can't accept your resignation." At 3:00 a.m., "Aurora Tang, how much money is he giving you? Music, Aurora Tang, I'll pay double. Don't quit. Aurora Tang, how is he taking care of you? Tell me, maybe I can do it too. Let's discuss it, don't quit." I sat, chin in hand, pondering. My boss has a fiancé, right? Before, when he invited me to work for him at a high salary, I'd heard people say he had a fiancé and that I should definitely keep my distance. Now what? What does he want? Does he want me to be a third party? I sincerely told him, "Boss, if I'm a mistress, I won't go to work. If I go to work, I can't be a mistress. A person can't do two things at once." My boss immediately texted back, "Being a mistress means not working. I can't quit my job to be your lover either. What about such a big company?" Ha, I laughed. What a good act. What big company? A year ago, when he first brought me in, the whole company only had 5 people. The boss, the receptionist, the cleaner, me, a small graphic designer, and old Mr. Chen, the driver who drove us around. I was worried this company could collapse at any moment, and my boss was constantly flying abroad for meetings. Sometimes I even wondered if I was working for a scam company. I'd just get 3 design proposals, submit them to the boss, and then he'd fly abroad immediately. In a year, I'd never even seen a client's face. If it weren't for the 8,000 yuan plus bonus arriving punctually every month, even if it was a bit generous, I probably would have left a long time ago. Shen texted again. "So, how much money does he have?" I replied, 5 million yuan, to see if I could scare him. Shen replied, "Only 5 million yuan? Wait until I get back music to the country, I'll give you 10 million yuan. You're not allowed to quit." He was really crazy. Only 5 million yuan. The word only used to describe 5 million yuan. That's an amount many people might not earn in their entire lives. Wait, my mind was a bit muddled. He said he'd give me 10 million yuan but wouldn't let me quit. If I already had 10 million yuan, why would I still need to work? How ridiculous. Shen has already boarded the plane. We'll talk when he's back. Just then, my best friend Jessica Dai called, "Hey, come downstairs." Anyway, I had already asked for the day off, so at most I'd lose 1 day's pay. I happily ran downstairs and saw her car. You took the day off too? Jessica smiled brightly at me. I fired my boss. I couldn't stand that music pressure anymore. Overtime was more than regular work hours. I have a bit of money now, I'm just looking for something lighter. My friend worked in sales, and after only 3 years, she had bought a car and a house. Although she spent most of her salary paying off loans, she didn't have much left over, but she music really worked hard. I also began to seriously consider whether I should quit my job. Jessica Dye drove me to a shopping mall that we usually wouldn't dare to enter. She said, "Sister, today we're shopping without looking at price tags. If you like it, take it." Oh my God, she's so generous. Music, but I knew how she got that money. She bought the lottery ticket herself. I just picked one number. Her wanting to share this prize with me showed absolute trust. I couldn't ask for more because of it. I'm naturally quite reserved. If I don't need to go out, I never leave home. I just go to work and come back. This was my first time visiting a high-end mall with all these designer brands. As soon as I entered, the scent of perfume hit me and made me a little dizzy. Just then, music, my best friend's eyes lit up. "Oh, handsome guy." I immediately looked in the direction she was pointing. "Where?" My best friend pointed to a huge poster hanging in the middle of the mall. It was an advertisement music for an upcoming game. 4 handsome animated characters were enlarged and displayed prominently. But no matter how I looked, these faces seemed music familiar. When I re-examined Jessica's gaze, I realized she wasn't looking at the animated characters, but at the man behind them. It was a photograph of a real person. I found it hard to believe, so I bent down to read the text below the photo. Founder Music and CEO of Yuan Yu Entertainment Daniel Shen. How dangerous. No matter how I looked at him, he truly had the appearance of a millionaire. My best friend started to become a fangirl. "Music, so handsome. Do you think there are really people in this world who are lucky in both money and love?" I frowned. It must be photoshopped. No one can be that handsome in real life. In the poster, Daniel Shen smiled gently, looking truly warm and elegant. But in real music, life, Daniel Shen always appeared cold and emotionless, spoke in very short sentences, and acted as if a storm was brewing, making everyone keep 100-meter distance. My friend wondered, "Do you happen to know him?" I lazily replied, "Music. He's my boss." Before I knew Daniel Shen, I was just a comic artist. Later, when drawing comics wasn't enough to live on, I had to apply to a small studio to work as an illustrator. I don't know how Daniel Shen found music, my WeChat. Even my old boss told me to switch to his company, praising Daniel Shen's company as very big with many opportunities. I knew perfectly well this was just a polite way to get rid of me. No problem, as long as there's money. Double salary. I signed the 3-year contract Daniel Shen offered and was driven to the current company by his personal driver. Music, only when I arrived did I realize my old boss's grandiose talk about the future was far from the truth. Daniel Shen only visited the company once or twice a week. The office was actually so small that he didn't have a private room, just a luxurious desk facing music mine. Every time he came, he would sit there all day. I always felt very stressed with my boss sitting opposite me when I had nothing to do, not daring to surf the web or be lazy. I could only pretend to be busy by taking out some unfinished comic drafts to continue working on. Every time I worried about the company going bankrupt, at the end of the month, precisely at 10:00 a.m., my full salary would be transferred to my account, reassuring me. In the mall, as the staff pulled the changing room curtain, Jessica spun around in front of the mirror and asked, "Baby, Music, does this dress look good?" I replied offhandedly, "It's all right," but my mind was still on Daniel Shen. Recently, I had searched his name online, and the results shocked me. It's rare for anyone Music to look up their boss's name on their first day of work. As long as the salary is transferred, no one cares about the boss's identity. But now I couldn't remain calm. I felt uneasy. I kept worrying, afraid that if I joked with Daniel Shen to Music, I would be fired. On the way home, I received a message from Daniel Shen. "Where are you?" I told my best friend to drop me off in front of the company. Jessica looked surprised. "Doesn't your company not require overtime?" "It's a special matter," I replied to Daniel Shen. "I'm at the company." Less than half an hour later, the company door opened. I sat quietly at my desk, waiting for him. Daniel Shen walked in, loosened his tie, and with a tired expression said, "Let's go." I recalled what happened today and honestly replied, "I don't intend to quit." Music, he let out a sigh of relief. That's good. But this company, I lowered my head, not daring to look at him, clutching my shirt. Oh my God, what am I saying? Music, Daniel Shen also seemed not to understand what I was saying. What do you mean? Do you mean you have other companies besides this one? I have a few, he nodded. This company is because it's close to your home, it's easier to commute, and it's not noisy. A status I once posted suddenly came to mind. Please grant me a high-paying, easy job, close to home, and without needing to communicate with anyone. I thought the Bodhisattva blessed me, but it turned out Daniel Shen was the one looking out for me. He lightly tapped my desk, but it's also convenient for me to ask you something. Do you want to work at the main company? The company already has music, dormitories ready, and a new game will be released next month, so I probably won't have time to visit here anymore. I obediently replied, I will follow your arrangements, boss. All right, you have 3 days this week to move your things. I'll cover the moving expenses. You'll start working at the main company next week. I'll send you the address via WeChat. Daniel Shen turned and left very decisively. I was so anxious that I forgot to ask him about the 10 million yuan. I moved to the address my boss sent, entering the password he gave me. It was a high-end apartment with 2 bedrooms and a living room. The wide balcony and windows overlooked the river. In the late music afternoon, light streamed through the glass, making the view outside look like an oil painting. True to Daniel Shen's style, even the accommodation was so elegant. I couldn't believe the dormitory had such good perks. This apartment was many times larger than the room I used to rent for 3,000 yuan a month. The interior was simple but very refined. Music. I texted him, Boss, are you sure this is a dormitory? Daniel Shen Music replied, the dormitories are full. This apartment has someone living in it but not often. Just think of it as sharing a place. I replied, thank you, boss. If a dorm becomes vacant, I'll move there later. Daniel Shen texted back, this area is safe, you can rest assured Music staying here. One room in the apartment was closed, so I put my luggage in the open spare room next to it, tidied up a bit, and got used to the place. On Monday morning, I rode my bike to the building Daniel Shen had Music sent the address to, not knowing which floor the office was on. As I entered the main lobby, a woman approached me. Are you Aurora Tang? I nodded. Yes. She wore a fitted black and white sheath dress, had big wavy hair, and was smiling at me. I couldn't help but look at her a few times. Her hair was very soft and shiny, and her dress, though business attire, was not revealing, reaching to her knees. Her real leather high heels were very elegant, and a light tea perfume wafted with every step. From head to toe, every detail about her was perfect. Is everyone around Daniel Shen like this? She had a strong aura, and I tried to force out a somewhat awkward smile. I am Fanny Yen, Chairman Shen's assistant, specializing in external affairs involving women. By the chairman's order, I'm here to greet you. Please follow me. While waiting for the elevator, I took the opportunity to ask, excuse me, Music, I haven't asked before, what floor do I work on? You work on the 27th floor. Chairman Shen is on the 28th floor. I couldn't help but exclaim, oh my God, Music, 2 whole floors? How rich! So my old boss wasn't entirely lying. Fanny Yen was slightly surprised. Not 2 floors, the entire building belongs to Chairman Shen. From the 20th floor down are other departments, and from the 20th floor up is the game development area. I couldn't help but take a deep breath. She took me up to the 28th floor and knocked on the chairman's office door. Someone opened it, and it was another familiar face. We meet again, Aurora, Music, he said happily to me. Wasn't that Ethan Chen who always followed Daniel Shen closely? Although he was called Old Chen, he seemed 2 years younger than me. He politely extended his hand to shake mine. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Ethan Chen, Chairman Shen's special music assistant. He opened the door, and I saw 2 desks on either side, with another large door deeper inside. Music, Ethan Chen and Fanny Yen stood on each side, pushing the door open, motioning for me to enter. Oh my goodness, inside was a huge sofa set, a massive desk, and spacious music, floor-to-ceiling windows. The abundant sunlight made the entire office glow as if covered in gold. If working in this office, who wouldn't want to come to work? This room alone was larger than my entire previous small company. So this was Daniel Shen's real office. Even in comics, I had never dared to imagine such a magnificent office. It truly opened my eyes. Daniel Shen tilted his head from behind his computer screen and said, "You've arrived." He took a fountain pen from his drawer. "Let me write you a check for 10 million, shall I?" I was slightly startled. "No need, boss, I was just kidding." He looked up at me for a moment. "Kidding? Didn't you say someone was giving you 5 million yuan to take care of you?" I lowered my head and twiddled my fingers. "She doesn't have 5 million yuan anymore. After music taxes, it's only 4 million yuan. Paying off the house and car loans took 1.5 million yuan, so now she only has 2.5 million yuan left." Shen looked at me with sympathetic eyes. "If it was a joke, then let's forget it. Get ready, music, to work. The game is about to be released. The character team leader position is still yours, but I've never been a team leader before." He put the fountain pen back in the drawer, music, and said firmly, "Fanny Yen will guide you. Your ability is not an issue. Trust yourself." Fanny Yen led me down to the 27th floor. She walked music ahead, and I quietly followed. Along the way, everyone who saw her politely greeted her. "Hello, Assistant Fang." Fanny Yen just gave a slight nod, like a female character in a TV drama I used to watch. Music, this floor had its own office area, dedicated solely to one character project. Fanny Yen took me to an independent office with a nameplate on the door, Team Leader Aurora Tang. After she left, I sat in the office and tidied up my belongings. This room didn't have very good sound insulation. Music, I could clearly hear the conversation in the pantry next door. "Did you see the new person today? I heard she has a connection with Chairman Shen. Music, we need to be careful." "Oh, doesn't Chairman Shen already have a fiancé? I heard it's Assistant Fanny." "No way, but they don't seem close at work, so it can't be too obvious." But rumor has it Team Leader Tang is also very close to Chairman Shen, music, and was parachuted in. Everyone in the pantry debated. So, Fanny Yen was Shen's fiancé. It wasn't surprising at all. Who wouldn't like someone like Fanny Yen? Even I, a girl, couldn't help but be captivated by her music aura. Just then, a cold voice rang out. "If you have nothing to do, bring your resignation letter here for me to review. Are you gossiping behind people's backs during work hours?" Fanny Yen's voice startled me too. There was a light knock on my office door. I quickly opened it. To my surprise, not only Fanny Yen but also Shen were outside. "Welcome to work. I'll treat everyone to dinner tonight." "Boss, music, have you ever considered that some people don't like eating out in groups? Especially eating with people who were just gossiping behind your back, just thinking about it feels suffocating." Seemingly reading my thoughts, Shen slowly, music, said, "It's just the four of us. Refusing any more would be too embarrassing for the boss." I had no choice but to music, smile and reply, "Yes, boss." Fanny Yen raised her phone. "I'll make the reservation." Shen gently closed the office door and said, "Don't misunderstand. Fanny Yen doesn't like men." My eyes immediately filled with music admiration. Shen glanced at me and helplessly shook his head. "Don't get the wrong idea, she doesn't like women either. She only has music, one thing on her mind: work. A true career woman, a role model, music for our generation." The more I looked at her, the more I admired her. That night during dinner, music, Fanny Yen and Ethan Chen seemed accustomed to eating with the boss, so I gradually relaxed. Music, this character was originally my initial sketch, so no wonder the project bonus was so generous back then. I'm not good at socializing. I'm fine at work, but when colleagues gossip about random things, I can't chime in. I once thought Shen's company was just fairly large, music, but I never expected it to be so grand. I thought everyone would mind their own business here, but it turns out the time spent gossiping was no less than working. I could only text my best friend Jessica Dye to complain, "I really don't suit big companies." Jessica immediately replied, "Sweetie, if you're tired, just quit. I don't have a lot of money, but I can support you for 10 or 8 years without you starving. Plus, when I renovated my house, I even prepared music, a room for you. You can live there whenever you want, food and board included." Boo-hoo, the world can't do without best friends. Thank you, Jessica. With you by my side, I feel more at ease. Music, however, the project isn't finished yet, so I can't stop halfway. Let's finish it first, then decide. I quickly got used to the new job. Fanny Yen and Ethan Chen also paid a lot of attention to me. Every day, music, Fanny Yen invited me to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She said it was a company benefit. Occasionally, when Shen wasn't busy, he would also take Ethan Chen out to eat in the evening. Fanny Yen and Ethan Chen didn't object, and I had no objections either. Through many interactions, I realized Shen wasn't as cold and serious as I had once thought. He was very upright, rational and calm, but his personality was stable and gentle. I rarely saw him get angry or raise his voice at anyone. What I imagined about a cold boss was just an illusion. Sometimes I wondered what could make Daniel Shen anxious. He seemed unshakable. On the weekend, while relaxing, I opened my comic app and immediately received a flood of messages asking for updates. Author, when's the new chapter coming out? After moving to this company for 2 weeks, I had absolutely no time to draw comics anymore. Not just because of the busy work, but also because there were too many people. If someone found out, it would be very troublesome. Before, at the small company, I could manage to draw 2 or 3 chapters a week. Now, after 2 weeks, I still hadn't managed even one new chapter. It was all due to the top-ranking bonus talent. The money from gifts was even more than the money for diligent updates, which made me lazy, and if I got busy, I'd miss my posting deadline. I hastily commented, "Work has been a bit busy lately, I'll try to update." I managed to finish a new chapter over the weekend and uploaded it. To my surprise, on Monday morning, Daniel Shen called me into his office. "Do you find it convenient to work downstairs? Do you want to work up here?" What was he implying? Before I could answer, he continued, "We can put another desk opposite mine, just like before at the small company." Was he afraid I would overhear the baseless rumors in the pantry? I quickly replied, "Thank you, boss, I'm used to it now." Daniel Shen continued, "If you feel overwhelmed with work, just tell me, taking a break is fine." Why was he acting so strangely today? But I still nodded obediently. "Yes, thank you, boss." A summer rain arrived suddenly and heavily. I looked at the long line of over 60 people waiting for taxis, and a sudden, inexplicable irritation welled up in me. Usually I could ask Jessica to pick me up, but today she was interviewing at a new company on the west side of the city. Heavy rain, traffic jams, perhaps by the time she got back to the east, I would have just finished waiting in line. "It's raining again, Miss Tang. Would you like to join us?" Ethan Chen called out to me. I instinctively refused. "Oh no, I don't want to trouble you." Daniel Shen said indifferently, "It's on the way." I gave an awkward laugh. "Thank you, boss." Ethan Chen's car stopped in the underground parking lot, and the barrier automatically lifted. Daniel Shen told Ethan Chen, "You can go home first." I immediately felt embarrassed. "Boss, you don't need to go to such trouble." Daniel Shen pressed the elevator button himself. "I said before, just consider that apartment our shared home. It's normal for a roommate to come back temporarily because of the rain." I was surprised. "You mean that apartment is yours?" I stammered in shock. Because he had previously told me to just treat it as a shared living space, I hadn't dared to touch the closed room. When I first started working, I used to share a place with 5 people, both male and female, so living together wasn't strange. "It's just living with your boss that's a bit odd." He chuckled softly in the elevator before pressing buttons for the 18th and 19th floors. I was just kidding. "You're living in my sister's apartment, and I live on the floor below you." I clapped my hands and laughed awkwardly. "Oh, boss has a sense of humor too, how fun." Secretly, I thought, "Oh no, I'm going to die." Before stepping out of the elevator, Daniel Shen turned to look at me. "My brother-in-law is a foreigner, and their whole family is currently living abroad. My sister recently gave birth, so she came back to the country for a while. Now that apartment is empty, so you can live there with peace of mind." The thunder that night roared terrifyingly. It was a rare chance to take advantage of a rainy night to go to bed early. But just as I was feeling sleepy, Daniel Shen called, "Could you help me check the circuit breaker?" I sleepily asked. Do you have a power outage upstairs?" I tried turning my bedside lamp on and off. "No, I don't." "It's probably because I haven't been back in a long time, the power got disconnected." "Could you help me plug the power card back in?" I could refuse. But I still said, "Yes, boss." I put on a light jacket, took the stairs downstairs, and entered the password he had just texted me. The power card was on the shoe cabinet next to the door. I took the card out and reactivated the power at the electrical box. When I re-entered, the room echoed with the beeping sounds of electronic devices restarting. I saw a frosted glass panel in front of me. Behind it, there was a human shadow and the sound of rushing water. Who would design a house where the bathroom door faces the main entrance? The sound of water stopped. Daniel Shen emerged from the bathroom, wrapped only in a towel. His hair was still dripping water, a completely different image from his usual formal appearance. He stood right in front of the bathroom door, facing me, and calmly Music said, "Thank you, Aurora. It wasn't convenient for me to go out just now. I'm really sorry to trouble you." My eyes inadvertently scanned his firm abs and then unconsciously slid downwards. When I realized what I was looking at, I wanted to scream, "Ah!" I immediately Music, turned around, closed the door, and ran straight upstairs. Looking at the power card still in my hand, I lightly slapped my forehead. The next day, Music returning home by elevator, I coincidentally met Daniel Shen taking out the trash downstairs. He spoke first, "Just got back." Music, I replied. "I've cooked dinner. Will you eat with me?" Today Fanny Yen was busy, so she didn't take me out to eat, and I just happened to meet Daniel Shen cooking when I got home. No need, I can just order takeout. It's just home-cooked food. Have a little, consider it a thank you for last night. I'm like that. If I'm invited twice, I can't refuse. Music, my mouth only allows one refusal. "Yes, boss." I followed Daniel Shen back to his apartment. I casually took Music, the power card I had left in my pocket yesterday, and placed it on his shoe cabinet. From then on, whenever Fanny Yen was busy and didn't invite me to eat, Daniel Shen would coincidentally meet me when I came home and invite me to dinner. He even came up with many plausible reasons that made it hard for me to refuse. Music. A month passed and the game was officially released. My workload also became lighter. The traffic on the first day of release was very high. Daniel Shen was busy outside every day promoting the product. That day he called me upstairs, "Aurora Tang, come with me." "Boss, don't you already have 2 assistants? They're busy. You come with me, it's just a simple interview. Do you want a Music? Go on stage to introduce the character design concept." I saw a cluster of microphones and cameras pointed at me and immediately shook my head. "Music? Then wait for me backstage." Daniel Shen quickly adapted to a barrage of questions from reporters with a refined and polite Music demeanor. While working, he seemed to radiate a special charm that others couldn't take their eyes off. When the interview concluded, Daniel Shen returned backstage. "Music," I immediately handed him a cup of water. "Let's go, time to go home." Daniel Shen drove me back to the apartment complex. I was used to pressing the 18th and 19th floor buttons, but Daniel Shen canceled the 19th floor. "Music, not eating dinner." Usually, he'd get home first, and by the time I arrived, dinner would be ready. Today we arrived at the same time, so there was no ready meal. He glanced at his watch. "I've already called the chef to prepare it. Music, it should be done by now." When we entered his home, indeed, 4 savory dishes and a soup were already laid out on the dining table. I went to the kitchen to get a bowl and chopsticks to serve the soup, while Daniel Shen Music changed from his formal suit into casual, comfortable home clothes. I don't know when my palate became so spoiled. After eating today, I found the food just ordinary. After Music dinner, Daniel Shen looked at me. "Next week the promotion work will be over. We can talk." "Music," I felt bewildered. Talk about what?" he calmly replied. "Talk about us Music being together." Daniel Shen continued, "Because that person went bankrupt and you didn't specify how he was taking care of you, I could only help you in my own way. I've taken care of everything for you: food, clothing, housing, transportation, work, and salary. Is there anything that's not right? I understand you well. I Music feel you like to find your self-worth through work, but if you want to quit, I completely respect that." His eyebrows furrowed slightly, as if this matter had made him think for a long time. "If Music, you truly believe that being a mistress means not working, and if you don't want me to work anymore, I can also start training my grandnephew for my sister to run the company. It's just that moving all the work abroad would be a bit troublesome." What was he saying? He wants to be my third party? I blinked, processing what he had just said. I quickly interrupted. "How old is your nephew?" 3 months. Can you please leave him out of this?" Daniel Shen looked at me with a deep voice. "If I have to choose between music, work, and love, I'll choose you." I looked up at him seriously and asked, "Is there Music, a misunderstanding between us?" He was slightly surprised. "Didn't you say someone would take care of you? If you don't consider that love, perhaps I've been overthinking." "Oh no, it turns out to be a huge misunderstanding." I burst out laughing. "That's not love, that's friendship, kinship. Music, that person is my best friend of over 10 years, my sister." Daniel Shen stopped for a moment, bewildered. "Your sister is a girl?" He laughed, shaking his head slightly, his eyes seemingly more relaxed. I Music sensed he wasn't joking, so I asked, "So boss, what do you find special about me? I'm so ordinary." Fanny Yen's image suddenly appeared in my mind. Someone like her would truly be a perfect match for Daniel Shen. Daniel Shen was slightly surprised. Have you forgotten about that? Forgotten music about what? He took out his phone, opened WeChat, and scrolled down. The screen showed an image of a cartoon tiger. That tiger looked very familiar. Looking closely, I realized it resembled a character from my music, first comic series. Could it be that Daniel Shen was my fan? No, this tiger was just colored with one shade. It wasn't my original work. Daniel Shen went into his office and brought out music, a small box. He opened the lid. Inside was a light pink-colored pencil. The letter N was engraved on the end of the pencil. Music, is this your pencil? When he saw I still hadn't remembered, Daniel Shen shook his head gently and pulled out a photograph. In the photo, there was a little girl. It was me when I was young, and next to her, a little boy was sobbing. I looked at the photo, then at Daniel Shen. Suddenly, a memory flooded back. That day at the amusement park, my mother had left me on a bench and rushed off to buy ice cream. At the other end of the bench, a little boy sat alone. Music, for some reason, after a while, he burst into tears. I ran over, tugged at his sleeve, and comforted him. Little boy, music, don't cry anymore. Let big sister draw for you. The boy pouted and refused. Big sister? What big sister? I'm older than you. I'm your older brother. I laughed. Music, what do you like? I'll draw it for you. With that, I pulled out my backpack and took out a notebook and pencils. The boy thought for a moment music and said, I like tigers. Tigers are really strong. I drew a cartoon tiger for him. The result was that the boy cried even louder. Tigers aren't like that. But at that time, I only knew how to draw simple pictures. I quickly searched my bag, taking music out of fruit candy. All right then, I'll give you this candy. It's delicious. Looking around, I had no other gifts for him. Just then, my mother, holding ice cream, waved and called, Aurora, come here quickly and eat your ice cream. I turned and handed the pink-colored pencil to the boy. Here, have this pencil. Music, draw whatever you like, don't cry anymore. Then I ran off to find my mother to eat ice cream. I pointed at the photo and asked, Is this you? He nodded slightly. My mother promised to take me to the park once a month, but she was too busy and only just found time to take me. As soon as we entered the park, Mom received a work call and had to go to the restaurant next door to work. Music, I was angry and refused to go with her. I asked Mom why she couldn't wait until we got home to work. Music, she said that only the strongest tigers could decide the fate of others, and she wasn't strong enough. I understood that my mother didn't want to abandon me at the park either. So, music, when I drew the tiger in a cute shape, that's why he got so angry. I remembered that my debut work was a comic series called Fairy Forest, a place without the cruelty music of life. Only cute little friends lived there in harmony, bathing in the stream, eating together, climbing trees, and playing together. It was a dreamy and gentle world. But back then, I was young. That comic didn't bring in any money. Music, it wasn't until my second work that I started earning income, a comic titled Can Tigers Be Cute? In it, a prominent character was Cute Old Tiger, who always gave gifts whenever I posted a new chapter, helping me top the monthly reward rankings. That's how I became known to people. I suddenly realized, so how did you know I was the artist? Daniel Shen smiled. How many people in this world draw tigers so badly? I angrily slapped the table. Are tigers not allowed to be cute? Daniel Shen took my hand and gently stroked it. If someone gives it enough safety, it will become docile, gentle, and perhaps even cute. Daniel Shen's side story music. Finally, I found her. Only she would dare to draw a tiger in that shape. Ever since I discovered her account, coming home from school every day and waiting for a new chapter became my music habit. Seeing the little animals in the fairy forest live in harmony, I secretly thought music, that when I become a big tiger, I won't let the little animals work overtime. That comic later stopped updating, and her account also went silent for a music long time. When the account became active again, there was a new comic series. The plot was no longer important. The important thing was that she and I were connected once again. I heard she had to find extra work because she was short on money. Therefore, after each update, I would send her the most expensive gift in the comic app. I went to her boss and paid to buy out her contract so she could work for my company. Music, that way, the distance between us seemed to shorten. Why haven't I seen her update her comic lately? Is she too busy? I'll drop by the company and see. But facing her, I didn't know how to start a conversation. Just sitting there, seeing her pretend to be busy, already made me happy. I never expected that evening the app would notify me of a new chapter. I logged into the Can Tigers Be Cute account and immediately sent 2 valuable gifts. The second time I visited the company, again, there was a new chapter that evening. It couldn't be music, a coincidence. Whenever I felt restless, if I just visited the company for a while, that evening there would be a new chapter to read. That little girl, during work hours, sitting opposite me and secretly drawing comics how bold. But since there was a new chapter to read, I'd let it slide. Is anyone taking care of her? How are they taking care of her? They're taking care of her but still letting her go to work? What if she quits? Every time I saw her social media post, I had countless questions in my head. It had been a long time since I felt so anxious and helpless. I could only hastily write a sentence, "Don't quit." What kind of charm does this little girl have that makes a guy she just met willing to spend 5 million yuan to support her? No problem, because I still have a lot of money. If she likes money, I'll use money to keep her. It sounds like she doesn't really want to break up with that man, but also doesn't mind having another. It's just that her demand is too strict. To be a mistress, she must music, not go to work. Maybe she's worried I'd be too busy and wouldn't have time for her. Initially, I was thinking of ways to persuade her to work at the main company and worried she wouldn't be comfortable seeing so many music people. I never expected her to be so easy to talk to. When I saw her off, I was so happy that I forgot to give her the music, 1 million yuan check. The day she came to work at the company, I held the check again, intending to give it to her, thinking that letting her use this money freely would perhaps make her feel more at ease. I couldn't believe she informed me that the man had gone bankrupt. Music, I don't know if this is true or if these two girls are being deceived. To say 5 million yuan is lost is truly lost immediately. The little girl is so foolish. Open your eyes and see, I am much more trustworthy. I even screenshotted our last conversation and posted it to my circle of friends. From now on, someone's music taking care of me. This feeling of being supported without expending any energy is truly my favorite. How can I make her obediently come to me? Suddenly, the WeChat warning popped up. The electricity account only had music 10 yuan left. Good. I immediately turned on the air conditioner, treadmill, TV, all connected electrical appliances. I scrolled through my phone while watching the electricity balance in the app decrease. 2 hours later, when the account had exactly 1 yuan left, I successively turned off all the devices I had turned on, tidied up, and then took a shower. As soon as I turned on the hairdryer, the power went out. I picked up my phone, intending to send her a WeChat message, but worried she might not notice it. After a moment of thought, I decided to call directly. Hearing the key turn in the lock, I knew she had returned. Just a few seconds later, the entire room lit up music again. I stepped out of the bathroom, feeling mischievous, so I stood right at the bathroom door, silently staring at her. Music, watching her face turn red and then panic and run away, so adorable. Was I a bit too much? But this is her true image. In my heart, she's lively, cute, full of vitality, completely different from employee Aurora Tang and her serious demeanor at the company. It seems I need to find more opportunities to meet her outside of work. Music. Before going to bed, I habitually open the comic series, Fairy Forest, with its naive drawings. But in my head, her image from tonight kept swirling. A girl who can bring me warmth, who can make me smile even in my most difficult and lonely months. That person is truly music, this adorable.